fat lot of good that Geo Knows t-shirt did me. Geo knows. Geo knows how to make me go 7-7. What's happening, everybody? Justin, Bridgewater's Finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter, and welcome to Week 7 of my weekly NFL pick show for the 2015-2016 NFL season. So I have to apologize for the God rays above me. It's actually a special Tuesday night edition of Justin's NFL Football Pick Show. So I'm filming this a little after 10:30 at night, so no natural light coming in at all. So I have to use the light that is above my head, and it does kind of cast a godly shine down on me. So here's hoping that maybe that is some good luck for Week 7 to recover from what was really not a great Week 6. Week 6, I only went 7-7 straight up, and usually if you can only hit 500 straight up, you're not going to do very good on the betting lines either. Against the spread, I only went 5-8-1, so that is really not good. And over-under, I only went 5-9, so again, those numbers really not good, really not where I want to be, and actually kind of broke the momentum that I had so far going on through the season. Straight up, I'm still 58-33 overall on the season. That is still my best straight up overall record since I started doing my pick show, so that's fantastic. Against the spread, I'm still 9 games over 500, 49-40 with 2 draws, 2 pushes. And over-under, I've dropped now a couple games under 500. I'm 42-46 with 3 pushes. Now on the plus side, even though I only went 7-7, 4 of those 7 wins did come with my platinum, gold, silver, and bronze picks. So I swept the table on those this week, which is something that I really needed to do. Platinum pick, I told you to take Green Bay to beat San Diego 27-20. That worked out. Told you to take the Jets to beat the Redskins 34-20. That game was usually not in doubt. New England beats Indianapolis 34-27. Closer game than some people thought it might be. That's what I told you to take for the silver. And the bronze pick continues to be undefeated, now 6-0, as Minnesota beats Kansas City by 6, 16-10. So got platinum, gold, silver, and bronze. I am 3-3, 3-3, 5-1, and 6-0 on those picks so far this year. And taking a quick peek into the Bridgewater's Finest Pick'em pool for Season 4, I didn't really move this week. I'm still sitting in 15th place. Now out of 51 managers, we picked up a 51st picker. 496 out of 738 possible confidence points. That's a clip of 67%. It's relatively close to where I want to be. Again, 70% threshold. So it's kind of close, but I didn't move in the right direction this week, so it's kind of tough to advance. Only brought in 68 of 105 possible confidence points. That's only a clip of 65%. So again, hard to move forward under those numbers. Shout out to Evanhosmer for winning Week 6 in the pool. Evan actually went 10-4 in Week 6, which I think is actually an excellent mark given how the week went. 82 out of 105 possible confidence points. So for him, that's a clip of 78%. Evanhosmer wins Week 6. And shout out to HalfmoonsPicks. Stephen Coleman, a fellow NFL YouTube prognosticator, who maintains his overall lead in the pick'em pool, 61-30 straight up so far this year, 531 out of 738 possible confidence points. That is a clip of 72%, and Steven maintains his lead for the second consecutive week. So shout out to Evan Hosmer for winning Week 6, and for Stephen Coleman, HalfmoonsPicks, a fellow NFL YouTube prognosticator, for maintaining the overall lead. I'll take this opportunity, as I do every week, to remind you that if you go to the description of this video, you're going to be able to find all of my results from last week and so far on the season. You're going to be able to find all of my against the spread and over-under plays for Week 7 in the NFL, except the total in Pittsburgh, Kansas City, which still Vegas is a little too cowardly to put out. You're going to find information on joining the Bridgewater's Finest Pick'em pool for Season 4, and you're going to find links to the NFL YouTube Prognosticators Facebook page, as well as other high-quality NFL YouTube prognosticators who do better than 7-7. By the way, Gio, I do love the shirt. It just didn't give me much luck. Okay, folks, let's get into those picks now for Week 7 in the NFL. Going to start at the bottom with the bronze pick, which, as I mentioned again, is 6-0 so far this season, looking to push it to an even 7. For my bronze pick, I have the Baltimore Ravens traveling to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Cardinals have kind of fallen off their high horse now. They're down to 4-2, so they were undefeated, and this tends to be the way that the Cardinals go. I've found in seasons past, they'll have a great start to the season, and then in mid-season, they'll really kind of dip, and it doesn't seem to matter who's on the team. It just seems to be a trend with the team. That being said, this is the perfect matchup for Arizona. I have lost all faith in the Baltimore Ravens defensively. They can get fourth quarter leads, but they just can't hold them. Again, I should say, I have no problem at all with Joe Flacco. I think Joe Flacco's having himself a decent season. Justin Forsett has started to turn it on now in the last couple of games. That offense is starting to come around. But for a franchise that has been predicated on defense for years and years and years, this defense is almost laughable. I've long said that, gun to my head, if I had to pick a team, my AFC team is probably the Ravens, but honestly, with the way they're playing right now on the defensive side of the ball, I guess it's time to start picking on them. And pick on them I shall with the bronze pick. My bronze pick, I'm going to tell you to take Arizona to beat Baltimore in Arizona. My silver pick, where again I am 5-1 on the season, is a London, UK special, the Buffalo Bills and Jacksonville Jaguars playing across the pond. Bills' QB situation is still a little bit dicey. I'm not 100% sure right now whether it's going to be Tyrod Taylor or if it's going to be EJ Manuel who's going to be starting this game. And with my heart on, my love for quarterbacks, that really has me on edge. But the one thing that doesn't have me on edge anymore is the Bills' backfield. Now that Shady McCoy is back, he had a good game last week. He looks like he's back, and he looks like he's ready to tear it up. And there is no better team to tear it up against than the Jags. Jacksonville is not totally inept like they have been in seasons past. It actually looks like they're maybe kind of developing their young players, and maybe in a few years the Jags might be something. This year, not so much, and this week, I firmly believe that the Bills are going to curb stomp the Jags in jolly old England. So for my silver pick, I'm going to tell you to take Buffalo to beat Jacksonville in London. My gold pick, where I am 3-3 on the season, sees the Oakland Raiders traveling to San Diego for what amounts to a road game, but really kind of isn't, taking on the Chargers. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the Chargers are coming off of an emotional loss against Green Bay in Lambeau Field, where Phillip Rivers threw for over 500 yards on that Packers defense, who up to that game had been playing fairly well. Now, of course, the Packers defense came up when it counted, that very late play, which I think caused a turnover on downs right towards the end of the game, which basically extinguished any chance that the Chargers had of winning that game. But still, anytime you throw over 500 yards, you've done something right. And boy, oh boy, do the Raiders ever love to give up pass yards. I cannot overstate how important it is to the San Diego Chargers team to have Antonio Gates back, to have a player with whom your quarterback has such a chemistry and is such a security blanket, like a Jason Witten kind of thing, like a Heath Miller sort of deal. And Antonio Gates is the ultimate security blanket for Phillip Rivers, who I still believe is a top 10 quarterback in this league. San Diego's only 2-4 right now. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games, but they're the only team that's kind of in the middle of the pack there in the AFC that actually has a winning record at home. I think that's going to continue this week in a big bad way. I'm going to tell you for my gold pick to take San Diego to beat Oakland in San Diego. And my platinum pick, where I am still struggling, 3-3 on the year. We're going to get this thing going this week. I have the Atlanta Falcons traveling to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Marcus Mariota was re-welcomed into the NFL last week with what was really something that amounted to a fairly dirty hit, especially on a young quarterback. Now, of course, to the player's credit, he did apologize for that hit, but it will be interesting to see how a young quarterback like Mariota reacts to something like that. Meanwhile, the Falcons dropped their first game of the season last week, a difficult game to a division rival, the New Orleans Saints. They really kind of stepped up and played that game very, very well. Division opponent is a team they know very well. So the correct answer to my question from last week as to which of the unbeaten teams would lose, that was Atlanta. And honestly, I think Atlanta gets right back on the horse this week. I don't see too much of what Tennessee is going to be able to do to Atlanta. Tennessee seems to be developing kind of a running back carousel here, an RBBC, if you will, running back by committee. I don't tend to like situations like that. Mariota, one of the most talented young quarterbacks in the league, if not the most talented young quarterback in the league. I don't think it's going to be enough to propel them over the Falcons, who are a very, very good team and still right in the thick of things for that division. For my platinum pick, I'm going to tell you to take the Atlanta Falcons on the road to beat Tennessee. Now here are the rest of my straight up picks for week 7 in the NFL. It's week 7, went 7-7 last week. Is that a good sign? That's the Week 7 show for you, folks. Comments, hate, and love, you know where they go in the comments section below. Before we get to the comment of the week, I'm going to hit you with the question of the week. Now, the last couple of questions of the week have been relatively positive questions. I'm going to hit you with a bit of a negative one here. Who has been the player, not the team, who has been the player that has been the biggest disappointment either to you personally, to your team, or to the NFL as a whole in the 2015 season? I think there's going to be an answer, a single answer, that's going to be probably the majority of the answers so far, but I would like to hear from you on that. Which player do you think has been the biggest disappointment either to his team or to the NFL as a whole so far this season? It's time for the comment of the week from the Week 6 video. The comment of the week from Week 6 goes to Billy B, fellow NFL YouTube prognosticator, formerly of Team Take'em. And the reason that I gave Billy B the comment of the week this week, again, I had asked you which of the current undefeated teams is the most likely to lose in week 6. Now, Billy was one of the ones who said that the team that was the most likely to lose was Carolina, because, I mean, they were going into Seattle. Now, of course, that worked out. Carolina won that game. But his number 2 pick, because Billy actually went to the trouble of ordering the ones that he thought were the most prone to losing, and his number 2 pick was in fact the Atlanta Falcons, and they did lose to the New Orleans Saints that tough divisional game. So this is the comment that Billy B said: I'm feeling that 2 of the 6 teams lose this week. This is the order of who I think is the most prone to lose: Panthers, Falcons, Broncos, Patriots, Bengals, Packers. So for that reason, Billy B, congratulations. You are getting the comment of the week this week. We're going to get you out of here for the Week 7 video on my CFL picks. This is the CFL in Week 18 of the CFL season. I actually went 3-1 picking the CFL last week, so that was my sort of redeeming quality from last week, was I went 3-1 picking the CFL, 14-11 so far, straight up on the season picking the CFL. In Week 18 in the CFL, I have Toronto at home beating Montreal. I've got Hamilton going into BC and hanging up an L on the Lions. I have Ottawa going into Winnipeg and hanging up an L on the Blue Bombers. And in a big upset, I would think, in Week 18, I have the Saskatchewan Roughriders at home beating the Edmonton Eskimos. That's it for me. Justin, Bridgewater's Finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter. Week 7 is in the books. Hope you enjoy it, folks. Enjoy the game from jolly old England, and we'll see you again in Week 8.